Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Moses Santos,
I'm Rancis,
and we're Vita Project, a lifestyle company that helps develop people.
and today we're going to be talking about awareness and vulnerability.
Awareness and vulnerability are the foundations for change in any aspect of your life, whether it be your career, whether it be the way you feel about and your emotions, or even the way that you look.
So this is huge because awareness and vulnerability, it has a lot to do with how you express yourself, both physically and the way people perceive you in terms of your posture, in terms of how you're able to move and express your emotions, but also how you're able to interact with the world and handle problems that arrive in the physical context.
So the way to start practicing awareness and vulnerability is through movement. It's the one way that you can really start to affect change in your life because you are the one thing that you're really truly connected to is your body. And movement allows you to practice awareness and vulnerability. So Rancis is going to show us what happens when you do years of that practice. So what you saw there was years of practice in awareness and vulnerability, and the amount of work that he took to get to that point, just the little things.
So honestly, for me to get to that point was a long journey because even though at 33 I can still move that way, I can do these things, there was a time when that was very challenging for me. And that was very challenging for me because, as I quote, my master at the time said to me, my martial arts master said to me, "Rancis, you move like a robot. You seem to be so stiff in all your joints that you can't express yourself. You look like a heavy robot walking around." And to me, that impacted me heavily. So I had to work hard on developing my body joint by joint, to be able to express this entire movement, this set of movements that we were working on. So what I did was I started breaking it down. I was aware that, thanks to my master bringing that up, my master from Capoeira bringing that up to me, that hey, I have some mobility issues. I have to work and develop in order to be able to develop myself much better. So what I started doing was first starting with my spine. So I was vulnerable enough to dissect which part of me is it that I want to improve. And that had a lot to do with my spine and being able to create segmentation between each joint, specifically in my lumbar joint. So this is something, we're gonna give you some tools that you today can start using. And what this is gonna do is gonna unlock your potential. So if you think about, for example, I am working all day and I come home, the last thing I wanna do is exercise, right? Because you get out of your car and you moan and groan to get out. Or you get home, let's say you have kids and you got to pick up their toys that they left lying around and you have to bend down and grab them, and that's the most uncomfortable thing you can do, and you hurt your back reaching for the toys. These things are challenging. These things are real. But if you're vulnerable enough to accept, hey, this is not the way it's supposed to be. Just because I'm in my 30s now doesn't mean that I need to be immobile, that I should be losing mobility. A lot of people tend to blame the age. So you can become just as mobile as I am by simply practicing a little bit of awareness and vulnerability. We're going to show you 2 exercises today that you can start doing, and you don't even have to make a big deal out of it. You get out of bed, or in the morning when you wake up, this is the best time. Don't even get out of bed. In the same bed, I'm going to show you the position you can get to, and we call this lower back segmentation, but our clients have another name for it.
Yeah, so our clients like to call it the twerking car. All right, so we're gonna take a look and we're gonna see how Rancis starts to mobilize his lower spine.
In fact, let me take my shirt off so you can see how my spine moves.
So he's going to just mobilize the lumbar spine, which is this area of the back, right? He's gonna go into a flexion, hold that position, and you can see that his spine is starting to round here. He's not allowing himself to move from this position. He's just focusing on this area, mobilizing the vertebrae in there. And here he's squeezing those vertebrae together, allowing his spine to start to create some fluid movement down there. And what he's focusing on is being aware. So Rancis, what are some things that you're feeling in there?
So this movement here can be very hard for many people to do, especially in the flexion position. You really have to tuck in your belly to be able to squeeze from the core muscles, right? We like to think about what are the core exercises, right? The lower abdominals. This is all about controlling those points. So being able to tuck your lower pelvis as high up as these abs can squeeze. A lot of times you're gonna feel like you're cramping down here. That's okay. That means you're going to the extreme. You're going to the edge of what you're comfortable with. You're going to that point of vulnerability, right? And that vulnerability is exposing you to potential of improvement. So that's a good thing. Be aware of that and embrace it.
The first step that you can actually do, just even before getting to that point, is just being aware, right? One of the things I focus on is trying to feel my obliques, trying to feel those lower abdominals, just trying to get them to be awake, right? So being aware is the first step.
Another movement you can do is from the other side of it, is learning how to move from that lower lumbar spine. What I like to do is come from this, what I call reclined position, like if you're on a recliner, holding on, right, to your knees. And then what you can do here is think of your lower back here, this lower spine. You're going to try to segment it to reach the ground before anything else does, right? So I'm going to start tilting my pelvis to try to reach the ground with that. My arms are forward here. I'm flexing my lower spine as much as I can. And as I'm flexing it, I first touch down with my first vertebrae. I move up to the next vertebrae. Move up to the next one, next one, next one, until I bring myself to a smooth descent. This is real control of the lower back. And this, believe it or not, as simple as it is, can be a powerful movement to create a lot of strength in your core and relieve a lot of back discomfort, because a lot of people just simply lack mobility in their spine. And that's what this is allowing you to do. So there you go. You have a few exercises you can start using at home to improve your spinal mobility and improve your potential overall.
So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Consider subscribing to our Vita Project page, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.